what's good, everybody? Happy Tuesday already. Let me just get this set here so my phone doesn't bug me. And we're ready to go. Okay, cool. So happy Tuesday, everybody. Stock market, wild day today for the overall stock market. We'll get to that in just a second. Little housekeeping for you this Thursday up here at the top, right there. If you want to join us for a live webinar Thursday, we're going to do it at 7. We're going to do it at 9. It'll be a class on the difference a dollar makes, right? $1, $5, $10, $20. How does that make a difference if you make such a small adjustment to your retirement account? We are going to cover that. That'll be a good one. Also, if you're a client of Jazz Wealth, remember lump sum contributions. If you want them to be dated for 2017, we're going through and we're trying to help every one of you get those contributions for 2018 that you put in, that you can put in for 2017. So make sure to contact us. Make sure we get that straight if you want to do it. You don't have to. Just make sure that you have that into us if we didn't catch you. We are almost there. I think we've almost got everybody. Okay, let's talk about the markets today. Rough day, but here's how it breaks down. We're going to need to change this guy here. Well, there we go. Over onto the stock market. Here's the chart of the S&P 500. Rough day for the S&P. The big focus, whether you use this sort of thing in your sort of analysis or not, the big focus by most of the traders out there is this red line. See this red line going all the way back? It's kind of underneath all the pricing. That's the 200-day moving average. By far the most popular, the most important indicator that any person uses for judging trend. And you can see we're about to go underneath it. To make it simple, so we don't turn this into a class on moving averages, if everything is above the 200, everybody's happy. If the price is below the 200, people are nervous. And a good example of that would be Macy's or General Electric, really. So here's the red line on Macy's. See it there? So staying below the 200-day moving average makes any rally very difficult. And what happens is even when you get above it again and people start to get nice and feeling good about the price, it still takes a lot of convincing to get a stock or a market to move back above the 200 moving average. Just something, I don't know, that I pointed out there. So with the S&P, we are right smack on it. What we did not want to see if you are a bull was what happened today. You did not want to see all of yesterday erased. That, in my opinion, is a bad sign. Maybe the first time in a long time that we're going to see prices go beneath the 200 moving average. So that was the S&P, but that wasn't even the real story. The real story was the Nasdaq. Horrible day in the Nasdaq. It was by far the worst performer. The Nasdaq actually sold off for the day 211 points. And it really wasn't because of any one sort of panic or people wanting to get out of the Nasdaq in general. It was just like bad news for each individual stock as we go through them. For example, Nvidia, I believe, was the worst performer. Nope, second worst performer was Nvidia. Nvidia decided they were going to stop their autonomous vehicle testing. So that's really one of the reasons people get excited about Nvidia. So it broke through here today. Big sell-off in Nvidia, almost 8% down on the day. So that's one of the Nasdaq names. Tesla also hit with some bad news. Here's the price of Tesla. If you're just watching this for the first time, by the way, every little blip that you see on the screen represents one day. So all the way over here to the right, this is just today alone, 8.2%. That was your worst performer in the Nasdaq today. I guess the NTSB is checking out a crash in California that did kill somebody. It is preliminary. We don't know if the person was killed because it was done, the car was on autopilot or not, but that hurt Tesla. So some stock-specific news there. We could keep going. Here's Adobe. Rough day for them. Didn't go grab the news on Adobe. Netflix, a lot of the FANG names, if you follow that sort of thing, they all had their own individual problems today. And so that, that hurts. That helps bring down the Nasdaq. Not looking too good. Add to that, what do I always say in here? Semiconductors. We need the semiconductors and the financials to be moving in the same direction if we want the markets to be higher. Well, I'll just do this real quick. MU. Micron Technologies, one of the big semiconductors. Nvidia, we already covered it, one of the big semiconductors, down a lot today. Applied Materials, AMAT is the symbol, down 5% today. And lastly, MCHP, Microchip, down almost 4%. Those four names that I just mentioned represent over 20% of the SMH, the semiconductor sector, right? So we had four names, or a total of 20%, all pulling severely to the downside. That's not going to let the markets rally either. So you can kind of take a look there and see where we ended up. But hey, that's enough of the bad news. Let's talk about some good news. I know some of you have General Electric. GE up 4.25% today. Why? Why was the stock higher? So the financial media all day today trying to guess who's the big buyer, who's making the move, who's gotten together and trying to buy out a piece of this company. So if you bought it yesterday by chance, you got your money back today. You still can see you have a long way to go. This thing is at all-time lows, just off the lows there, actually. So good day for it today. That's about all the good news I have for you. Let's go through your investments today. Let's move on to the next thing on the list there. I'm trying to make these a little shorter for you guys, so we'll move a little bit quicker. Tech, obviously we went over that. Tech was going to be a weak space today. Any bond-related products that you go into, or REITs, those were going to do well today. They typically go in the opposite direction of the market, as they did today. And your weak spot, of course, is tech. So that one's pretty straightforward as far as your investments go today. Not a pretty day, but just know it's not one of those. I always ask the question, does it mean it's time to run away? Or is there just something, was it a bad day, right? And so for me today, it wasn't a reason to run away, but I do think it's going to get a little rougher here over the short term here, because like I said, that 200-day moving average is in play. And if we get below that, people are going to start sort of panicking in the short term. We did GE already. Let me go over a couple other names if you're interested. Wynn Resorts actually only finished up 0.5% today. The CEO, the original founder, alleged sexual misconduct there, sold his position, and JP Morgan came out. Was it JP Morgan? Yeah, JP Morgan came out today and they said, hey, 214, that's our new price target. Now that all of this garbage is out of the way, they're pretty bullish on the stock, so that's Wynn Resorts. Facebook was down another 5% today. That kind of sucks. Bank of America, their analyst group came out and said, we're going to lower our price target again for the first time, or the second time in 5 days. Actually, they lowered their target, but they're still bullish on the stock. They just don't think they're as bullish. So they have a price target now of 210. So you can see 210 gets you all the way back up to new highs. They said 210 within a year. So if they think 210, then isn't this a discount here? If you're going to love it at 210, aren't you going to love it at 152? And lastly, we'll do Bitcoin ETFs. So there's a lot of sort of regulatory hearings going on right now. If you guys are interested in Bitcoin, I'm not personally, but there's the Bitcoin futures down around 7,900 at the moment. A little rough patch for Bitcoin futures. But if you're kind of following along, you're looking for the opportunity to participate in Bitcoin futures, they're there for you. Now it's exchange traded funds. Everybody's trying to kind of work in their ETFs that will track futures so that people can include them in retirement accounts and other non-margin related accounts. So the CBOE, they're petitioning to allow for Bitcoin ETFs, and the New York Stock Exchange is actually just pending approval. They're ready to go for listing 2 exchange traded funds that ProShares has already developed. So it looks like if you like Bitcoin and you want to participate in exchange traded funds, it looks like it's only a matter of probably days, to be honest. They're in the middle of all this discussion right now. That's all I have for you today. What else? What else? Crude oil down 1% today. Gold down 1%. Volatility, if you follow that, sharp move higher. That's to be expected. The financials down 2% today. Just some selling pressure here with a tech-related focus. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be doing this again tomorrow, but we may not do this on Thursday to prepare for the live webinar. If you're interested in joining the live webinar, it is up there. It is free. There's no strings attached. Very short, 15, 20 minutes at most. I'll get excited. I'll talk about some stuff, and I'm going to get out of your way. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Enjoy. We'll talk to you soon.